let's talk about the most important rule when you're NEET. As you can see from my computer table, I have a bunch of dirty dishes. Looking at the floor of my apartment, there's a bunch of dirty clothes like absolutely everywhere. So this is the first rule of being a NEET. This is how you become based and comfy, right? Here, more dirty dishes, more fucking empty bottles. Who cares? Who cares? More dirty clothes there. Everywhere there are dirty dishes and dirty clothes, right? Here too, this is my bathroom, and here you can also find a bunch of fucking dirty clothes and some fucking clean things that are hanging out to dry. Anyway, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because that's a constant fight if you're NEET. Keeping your shit tidy and like in order, right, is a constant fight. Because if you're a NEET and if you have the fortune of having your own living space, there's never really any like pressure to clean it, right? Because I know you're watching my channel, you have autism, right? You probably don't want things to be orderly as long as they don't interfere with what you want to accomplish in your life, right? You probably don't want to fucking organize things according to some principles that you don't want like care about, like fucking neatness and orderliness, right? Here's how you accomplish this goal. This is the principle of like rotating your dirty dishes and dirty clothes, right? Because here are the two situations you don't want to happen. One, you can't move freely because there are too many dirty clothes or dirty dishes. You never want this to happen. Like if it's your desk, right? You don't want to make your main desk space unusable, right? This is the space that I need on my desk. This is where my hands go. This is where my phone goes if I'm using my phone at my desk. Because, okay, I also do this thing where I put my phone like between my hands when I'm browsing, right? So I can like look at things on my phone. If I need like more than 2 screens and fucking workspace and whatever, it doesn't fucking matter right now. Anyway, this is the principle of rotating your dirty dishes and clothes, right? So the other bad thing that happens is you can either run out of clothes or run out of dishes. You always want to have, also I'm not using the GUI, I'm sorry I'm going in tangents, but also I don't use the GUI package manager of Manjaro. Just gave me a notification, they clicked on the notification, it's like okay I might as well update from here. I do fucking sudo pacman cu like any fucking like base start user. Yeah. Anyway, you also never want to run out of clothes or dishes, right? So these are the two things you have to keep in mind. Always have some clean clothes. Or, I mean, in the same breath, you always want to have some clean spaces, especially the spaces that you use to, like, do your stuff in, right? So, how do you accomplish this? Do you accomplish this by, like, washing your clothes, folding them, putting them in your fucking closet, or washing your dishes, fucking drying them, putting them in your cupboard? No, you accomplish this by having 2 spaces. One space is where you store your clean clothes, the other space is where you store your clean dishes. Now, for me, where I store most of my clean dishes is on this counter here. I store my clean dishes on this counter. I also store other shit on this counter because I never use this. There's never a situation where I want to put something on this counter. This is free space. I can put anything I want in this space, right? So, I never have to use these cupboards. I never have to use any of this shit, right? I don't fucking have to because I get my dirty dishes, right? My dirty dishes. I take the dirty dishes, right? Once I have like enough of them. Like right now, I should probably wash them because I'm soon going to run out of plates. And I don't want to run out of plates, right? I cook. So that's just convenient for me. Is I just use all the plates, use all the pans, use all of shit. So I just take my dishwasher because we apparently have a dishwasher now. And I just put my shit in there, right? Then I take the shit out of this fucking dishwasher, right? And then I put this on this counter until I'm ready to use it. Then when I want to use my shit, I take this off the counter, I put whatever the fuck food I make on the stove, right? There's like one movement you have to do, like I can reach over here, I can reach back here. It's just one step you have to take each direction, right? They don't have to fucking open or close a fucking cupboard, right? They don't have to do any of that. I can just get my dish, put my food on the dish somewhere here, right? And then just go eat either at this table if I want to eat at the table, or at my computer desk if I want to eat at my computer desk, right? I can put the dish in either place. Now, with my clothes, there's a similar order to things. But my clothes are split up because I do use my fucking closet because I just need a space to have my clothes in, and I don't really want to keep them on the floor unless I'm like using them. However, when I wear a shirt for like 6 hours, let's say, because I don't have to wear clothes because I'm just home alone. I'm gonna put it on the floor next to my bed, because when I take the clothes off, I'm probably going into my bed, right? So I store like a lot of my clothes next to my bed, if that's the easiest place, because that's usually where I undress and redress, right? It's next to my bed. So yeah, that's the first principle of being a NEET. Establishing a good rotation between your dishes and fucking clothes. You need to keep the shit rotating. You need to keep it circulating like it's currency, right? You need to keep the shit circulating. You need to circulate your dishes. You need to circulate your fucking dirty clothes. And you can always be comfy. You can always be comfy. I've been in a situation where I don't have clean dishes, and then I have to wash like a fucking 2 weeks worth of dishes at once. It's not fun. I've been in a situation where I can't do like basic things because there are too many dirty dishes and shit, right? I've been in situations where I don't have clean clothes. I'm also struggling with establishing this, right? But it's an important thing to recognize and establish. This is the first principle of being a NEET. Here's the second principle of being a NEET. You never want to not have a hobby. If you're a NEET, you always want to have at least one active hobby, preferably multiple so you don't get burned out, but you always want to have at least one at the minimum. If you're a NEET, you don't want to be in a situation where you can find yourself bored on days on end, right? Because when you're bored and you're a NEET, you get sad, you get depressed, right? You don't have energy to do anything. Nothing in life motivates you, and then you just get really fucking sad. You get more sad until you finally rest yourself out of the situation you're in. Now, for a lot of based comfy needs, right? For a lot of based comfy needs, this hobby is gaming, right? For me, the only game I actively play is Minecraft. Even though I haven't been playing a lot lately, I've just been playing a few minutes here and there. But for a lot of based comfy needs, right? Their hobby of choice is gaming, right? I have a Steam library. I have a decent amount of games in Steam, just over 10 years basically accumulated. It's just I have games. I have the games. I have the fucking games. But fucking I'm not a big game person. I love some games, right? Hollow Knight. I fuck with Hollow Knight forever. Fucking Super Meat Boy. I fuck with Super Meat Boy forever. I fuck with these games. Fucking Bloodborne. I fuck with Bloodborne really hard, right? However, this isn't my main hobby, right? Recently, since you're watching this on my YouTube channel, you know that recently my hobby has been YouTube. My current obsession, or not my current, this was my obsession a- almost a week ago now, I guess. This was when this was really my obsession, was making clickbait, right? Last 3 videos I scheduled to be 2 days apart because okay, let's actually talk about this. Let's talk about this because I don't want to make it its own video. But I'm gonna talk about this fucking clickbait because this is so fun for me. As you can see, all of my clickbait videos, right? All of these videos got a relatively average amount of views. I would expect this amount of views from a mediocre video. This clickbait video got also average. Traps aren't gay, a bit above average. Is MTX fascist average? Incoherent categorizing truths, yeah, about average. The only clickbait video that I actually got some traction was my first one, which is why I don't love Arch Linux. Now, why did you clickbait? Why was this so fun for me? Well, because I get to just make a video. I don't have to edit it. I can just fucking post it. It's comfy as fuck, and then I can fucking make a funny meme title and thumbnail, right? And it just works. It just works. It's just fun. Now, I've been losing a shit ton of subscribers. Probably 5 or 6 just because I made too much fucking clickbait. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at this. Yeah, people are unsubscribing from Toadsmite and YouTube because I'm making too much clickbait. That's fine. Like, I don't care how many normies see my videos. Like, I really like actually genuinely don't care at all about how many normies watch my videos. I know that like based people will watch my videos and be like, yo, those are cool videos, right? But like, yeah, that's the important part for me is that cool people watch my videos. But like, yeah. So I've been making clickbait right now. That's the most recent thing I learned. I got scarily good at it by the end. Like it's not working because I haven't been lucky, right? It's not working because I haven't been lucky. But like I have a formula that I know has the potential to work just because it's funny, right? Because this is the thing with clickbait, it has to be funny. That's the secret of clickbait. Like that's why a lot of people go like, oh, these are like unserious thumbnails. Why is this working? It's working because it's funny. It doesn't matter that it like accurately represents anything in the video, right? Because I mean, all of my thumbnails relate to the thing I say in the video, but I don't like explain what happens in the video. They just go like, "Oh, here's this thing," and the video explains the thing, right? That's a funny, and they're kind of funny, so they work right. I've been getting compliments on my fucking clickbait, right? Because they just go like, "Man, this is really fucking clickbait," and I was like, "Yeah, thank you." But yeah, it's fucking doesn't fucking matter. I just went on that tangent because this is what it means to have a hobby. It's you have something that you can like care about this artistically. It means that there's something that you can care about just this thoroughly that you can go on like forever, like just talk about, just go on a fucking tangent after tangent after tangent, right? This is what it means to have a hobby. Now, that's not the only thing I have done. Like, oh, let's talk about crabstack.xyz. One of my hobbies has also been like making websites, right? This has been like kind of consistent. But right now, I made this crabstack.xyz for me and my friends, right? It's a good website, good website. Yesterday, I made a torrent for it, so you can now fucking click the torrent, although I can't fucking like. I can't show you because I already have it in my list, right? I have Crabstack Volume 1 in my Qubit torrent fucking thing. So, yeah, like, it's something to do. It's making websites is pretty cool. Making websites is pretty cool. Like you can just go and look. Oh, this is fancy. This looks artsy. This is a cool. I can click on the thing and see a video. Oh, I can see the entirety of Sacred Chaos in one directory. That's cool. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, that's like one hobby I have. And I also make music. You also can go on toadsmite.bandcamp.com, right? Oh wow, music. I make music. Like this is also a hobby I have, right? This, I have many hobbies, right? I can fucking play some like drum things I have made recently because uh, I haven't really been like I have a new audio workstation and it's not really conducive to making like good melodies, but it's I've been having a lot of fun just making good drums because that's what I care about the most. So let's say projects. Let's play some of my play of my fucking. Okay, I don't know. This is probably a good drum loop. Oh fuck! I have my headphones because yeah, I things don't play out of my speakers anymore. They just play out of my headphones now because it's just better. Let's see if I can fucking play my headphones for the fucking phone. I fucking I actually don't fucking care enough. It's just fucking music. It's just drums. It's just a fun drum loop. It sounds good. And so what it matters, I, I can I can fucking post some of them somewhere. Actually, when I said let's show you some drum loops in the background, you have been hearing the drum loops because I'm gonna just edit them in the background. So you have been hearing drum loops this entire time. Wow, you've been hearing the drums I made. Ooh, woo, editing magic. But yeah, that's okay. Drums and now, ooh, no more drums. Wow, boom. Anyway, so that's again one of my hobbies. That's again one of my hobbies, right? So what other hobbies do I have? What other hobbies do I have? Oh, I've recently been watching a shit ton of anime, right? Let's go on my anime list, right? I yesterday I re-ranked basically everything because I have a new rating system. Because I was like, yeah, plunder is right. Shouldn't have like fucking like things I don't like in my rating scales, right? So for me it's like okay, I don't finish anything that isn't a 4 out of 10 at least, right? If it's unrated, aka 0, it's a 4 out of 10. If I have finished a 4 out of 10, it's like for a specific reason. Then a 5 out of 10 is 1 to 20. A 6 out of 10 is like 21 to 40. 7 out of 10 is 41 to 60. An 8 out of 10 is 61 to 80. And a 9 out of 10 is 81 to 95. And a 10 out of 10 is 96 to 100. Now, here again, these equivalences, these 10-point scale equivalences, are just so people can like translate my opinions to their opinions and compare, right? This is just if someone wants to compare their things, but like for me, I can like I I don't like databasing to try to like score things against like something ideal that things could be. I like scoring things against like other things I've seen. So for me, it's not about like getting like accurate ratings for everything. For me, it's about getting like an accurate order of everything. I want everything to be in like the right order and exactly the right order. So fundamentally, right now I have a 200-point rating scale because I don't rate anything below like average, I guess, which is 50 points. On like a 100-point scale, but like my scale is from 5 out of 10 to 10 out of 10, and so it's functioning 200-point scale. I need to fucking explain this. You understand like what I'm saying. Basically, it doesn't fucking matter. But anyway, like I just have like a precise, like good ordered fucking list of like everything I've ever fucking read or watched, and it just fucking works, right? I can just autistically database things, and that's what matters. That's ultimately the thing that matters. Because like, I mean, I watch some anime, just watch anime, but like, the real reason why I like watching anime is because, like, I like watching anime because I like anime, right? But like, I'm really watching anime to make fucking YouTube videos, right? Because like Classics Cast is a lot of fun to make and people like it, so I make Classics Cast, right? And then I also get the database, which is really fun. So yeah, I have a bunch of hobbies. And I mean these aren't hobbies I've had all the time. Like, oh, I'm also writing a book. Like, I'm fucking writing. Just you can just go to my thing and you can go into the fucking documents. Somewhere in here should be my book. Oh, it's on my USB. I don't think it's on this computer yet. But yeah, like fucking yeah. I fucking write. I write a lot. Like, we can go to another one of my fucking websites. It's just like a fucking manifesto. Oh, because like I have like this. I have like this fucking domain. The original purpose didn't really work out because I got bored of it. So now I just have my manifesto stored in it on a fucking as like an HTML file. Wow, this is just an HTML website. I wrote this thing, right? It's fucking. I have a lot of hobbies. I have a shit ton of hobbies, right? I've had other hobbies in the past. I had cooking as a hobby for a while. I had doing card tricks as a hobby for a while, right? I had a lot of hobbies. I've had a lot of hobbies, right? But like it's, I had a manga as a hobby, although I don't really read manga anymore for reasons I've explained a million times now. But yeah, just fucking get a hobby. That's the second rule of being a NEET. Get a fucking hobby, any hobby. You don't have to copy any of my hobbies, but these are just the things I have fun with personally. So here's my third rule for a based, comfy NEET existence. And oh, dudes, how are you qualified to give all of this advice? I've been like fucking a NEET for 4 years, and I've talked to people who have been every single kind of NEET. Like, I'm pretty much the expert on being a NEET at this point. But yeah, like the third rule is you need to make friends. That's when you have a bud, that's the entire spiel. Now there are two reactions from the audience that are like, hey, yeah, obviously, why are you saying this? And the second reaction's, wait, how the fuck am I supposed to do that, right? These are the two possible reactions you can have when you hear that statement, right? So, the first thing I need to address is I'm not talking about like IRL shit, right? Because in most cases, IRL is completely redundant and you don't really have to fuck with it, right? You don't have to fucking do anything IRL. The only things you have to do IRL are sex, and that's about it. I mean, you can do sex online, but it's not as good. And it's also more convenient to get drugs in real life, but like that's a completely different issue for a different person because I don't really have an area of expertise in that. Anyway, I want to talk about how to get friends. How do I get friends online? That's my like. Okay, I have not talked to people consistently in real life for like 4 years now. Yeah, as long as I've been a NEET base. Well, with the exception of like the year when I had a boyfriend, but aside from that, I have not talked to people in real life consistently since I became a NEET. So I have always managed to have some type of friends, right? And here are the two factors of getting a friend online. The first is the hard part, which is finding a person you would want to be friends with. The second is the easy part, which is spending enough time with that person to either become friends or find out that you don't want to be friends with that person. Now, a common reason why you would not want to be friends with a person is that they don't like you. That's a common reason to not want to be friends with a person. Now, that's a completely acceptable reason, and it should be a reason you have. If someone doesn't like you, you should not be friends with that person, right? That's pretty simple, but a lot of people don't realize this. But yeah, anyway, these are like the two steps of like getting friends online. So the first step is the hard part, right? Because you can't just spend time to find people online. You have to have like an actual like environment in which you can find people who you would want to be friends with. Now, the thing I always suggest, not always suggest, but rather the thing I always do myself is go to a social media quote unquote platform with an equivalent amount of autism that I have, right? So online, this would be like a public Discord server or a Fortune fucking board. So I might go on a Fortune board, learn the board culture, talk to people on it, and eventually add someone on Discord and talk. Now, I don't know if I have ever had like a really close friend from Fortune. I know it's possible, but I've met people from Fortune who I have been friends with, even if it wasn't like for a long time or if you weren't really close. But that's a place that you can look. Although the strategy that works best for me are public Discord servers. Now, back in the day, there was also Tumblr that worked fantastically, and if you're more normie, you can find people on like Twitter. You can find people like in all kinds of places. If you're more of a normie, then you don't have a problem with this step, like anyway, because you can just make friends because you want to be friends with like a vast majority of people because you have like a common culture with other people. Now, if you're really autistic, you don't have that, so this is why this is necessary. Now, this is the strategy on how to make friends on public Discord servers. Because I know the temptation is to go to like Discord Top or any of these fucking aggregator websites and just scroll through the Discords and then find something that you would like. This works 1 out of 10 times, maybe. 9 out of 10 times, this yields no results. Because what you will soon find out is that these Discords all have a culture, and within that culture, you don't have a place. But as long as it's a culture where you might have a place, right, you can find a few people. Okay, how do you find these public discords? Now here's the shitty part, is you have to be in various public discords for a while, right? And usually for me, for whatever reason, it works when people like I go on like fucking another Discord or I go on like some other social media website and then I look at someone's personal Discord server and if I think like, hey, this person is tolerable, right? I go on that Discord server and generally that works. Now, I don't know if this is a foolproof strategy. Maybe for you, the way to like fucking find friends is on go on 4chan, suck on Discord threads and join a public Discord server or whatever. But like there are multitudes of ways you can find like cool underground places. Like maybe you like going to a website. Maybe that website has a Discord, right? If you're an encyclopedia.zone bro, right? If you go on that website, you could very easily find friends on both encyclopedia.zone and the Discord server for encyclopedia.zone. I personally have not done this because I just don't have the time commitment to like learn the culture of that specific website. However, the fact of the matter still is that that's like a viable strategy. You just need to find something that's a cool place and a cool person that has gathered other people into like I hate to say it, but like a community, right? And once that happens, you can go in, you can find people you like. Maybe you become a part of the community. However, the fact of the matter is that I would say 75% of the people who try to join a group of people or who interact with a group of people will not become members of a community, right? I mean, I personally don't try to have communities anymore. I just try to have friends, and I just talk to my friends, right? If all my friends are in one Discord server, that's fine. I personally don't really care anymore, at all. I haven't for a long time now, but there used to be a point in time where I actually cared. That point in time ended 3 years ago, something now. But uh, like still the fact of the matter is that most people who come in contact with a community will not become members of that community and will either be lurkers, kicked, or just never get an invite link if that community spends time in multiple places, right? Because different people in a community still like spending their time in different environments, and there's going to be some overlap. So that's how a lot of people get invited into communities, right? Is when they see people who are a part of a community out in the wild, but it's not the same thing anyway. Basically, there are a lot of ways to get invites into cool places, and you do have to get an invite into a cool place because ultimately, when something is too public, right? When something is on Discord.top, when something is on that aggregator, right? You can't find anything good in that usually, because the people who are on it are going to be the people who don't care about anything you would care about. So you have to get an invite from someplace more obscure. Now that's the hard part, right? But when you finally have that invite, you will see some people probably who you're like, okay, these people seem good, these people seem cool, and I think at that point there's a 50-50 chance, or maybe a 30% chance at least, that you will find someone who you want to be friends with, right? Even if a place has 10 members, you will probably find someone you want to be friends with. So now you might be saying, okay, Toads mate, this sounds good and all, right? This sounds completely serviceable. However, it's ultimately down to luck. How do I get this? If I'm not a lucky person, how will I achieve this? But the thing with rolling dice is that you can influence the outcome. The first is just brute forcing it, rolling dice over and over again until you get the result you want. The second is the more effective thing, where you can load dice, right? You can load the dice to come out in your favor. This is almost always a better solution, right? It is not usually the way to go to just spend thousands of hours on some shitty social media sites and fucking try to find cool people. This is almost never a good strategy. However, what is a good strategy is become someone who is cool, right? This is a good strategy, because if you're someone who is cool, even if you're in a place where most people aren't cool, the cool people will look at you and go hey, that is another cool person, right? Now, a part of this is as easy as have autism, right? Because if you have autism, you will always have a few people who will be interested in you, right? Because that's how autism works. You are somewhat of an interesting person if you have autism. There's no way to have autism and be completely boring. However, there are still things you can do to make yourself a cooler person. Since you're NEET, the most obvious thing to do is to just make art. You have all the time in the world, and that time can be spent on making art. And if you make cool art, there are always going to be people who think you're cool, right? For me, that has been the easiest way to make friends, is to just make art and focus on that. And then eventually people go okay, that art is cool, I like that, I'm going to talk to this person, right? And that's what works for me. You can load the dice in other ways. You can just be a really nice, genuine, friendly person. You can be an incredibly brutally sincere person. You can just be really talented in dealing with autistic people, right? Maybe you don't have autism, but you have had an incredible amount of just a massive amount of autistic friends. And in that case, you can just make autists know how to interact with each other better, and that's also really useful. And it's all of those ways are ways you can just become a more interesting person. So what are like social media sites that you would recommend those other than public discords? Because like you can get links to private discords from public discords, but like you had to like get those like links, and you said it wasn't a good strategy. Where do you get your links from? Okay, so this is the other part. Like, this is where you choose to hang out. 4chan is an option, but 4chan isn't the only forum. There's still a bunch of forums about a bunch of topics, and if you have interests, you can spend your time in the forums for a given topic and find someone. Forums are not going to be like social media websites like Reddit or Twitter, and in forums you're going to find some cool people because they go to forums. You have to be at least somewhat cool to go to forums, and they will probably know of a cooler place because the forum like you have access to is going to be a public forum, right? But other than forums, there are also going to be other places. There are going to be game chats. This is a big thing. You can very easily make friends if you're playing a video game that's a like a massively multiplayer online game or whatever. And if you just spend time in game chats, you will also find cool people because you're playing games and you like games, you can talk to them, right? And there's also, as much as I hate to say it, there's Twitter and Tumblr are still alive. And the thing with Twitter and Tumblr is you get to hyper-curate your environment. If you know what you're doing, you can only follow 10, 15 people that you have made sure are like worth following. And that's another way to get like cool websites and cool links. So the final way, like I'm sure there are other ways to have online friends that I don't know about because I'm not thinking about them, or I haven't done them, or I haven't heard about them. But the final way to have friends online is to have friends offline, right? Now, I know this might seem contradictory, like, oh, you said that offline is irrelevant, whatever. But like, the fact of the matter is that people offline are still going to have their own lives online. And if you know someone offline, they can introduce you to shit that takes place online, right? So this is another way you can have friends online. So how do you do this? How do you make friends offline? I don't fucking know. I haven't really done that since I left school. However, what I have heard is if you have like an interest in technology, there are like a lot of events that will probably happen to you locally with people who have similar interests, right? There's probably equivalent things with music, but like in my experience, the people who listen to music in public tend to be kind of normies, right? But that doesn't matter. Like if it works for you, it works. And if like your level of autism is conducive to you going to like a music festival and talking to people there, then that might be an option that you pursue, and that's a respectable option. But you should still strive to like eventually dovetail your offline life into your online life, because the problem with offline life is that there's no like real mobility offline, right? If you lose an offline friend, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can move on to new pastures, right? It means that there's going to be a shit ton of drama, and you might have lost your only friend, right? The thing with online friends is if you lose one online friend, you can still make enough redundancies, right? So that's another piece of advice from me why online is better. It's because it's just easier to have redundancies because it's not limited by physical space, right? But yeah, basically, go to people where people like you would go. And I have fallen into this trap before, where I thought, hey, people like me, they would probably go here and here and here and into this public Discord or whatever, but that doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work is simple. They might at some point have gone on a big anime Discord, right, and talked about anime, but they also immediately realized that this place isn't for them, so they became lurkers or just left, right, or just became inactive. This is why you can't really rely on that type of logic. Instead you have to be okay, this is a place where I am in this place, I naturally gravitate towards this place, and I see this link and I naturally gravitate towards clicking this link. You have to follow your passions, you have to follow your instincts and impulses. You can't logic your way into finding cool shit. You just kind of have to be around places where you want to be around. And there's the real possibility that you don't want to be around anywhere. But chances are that for things that you like, for hobbies you have, for media you like, there is some cool place somewhere and you just kind of have to find it. But yeah, that's how you make friends. That's the first rule. I don't know if any of this made any sense, but I hope that you at least took something away from it. Like, god fucking damn it, I wish Tumblr in 2017 was still alive, because that was just the fucking best place for making friends. But for me personally, that just doesn't exist anymore, and that kind of fucking sucks. So the fifth rule. Oh, also before I get to the fifth rule, I wanted to talk not fifth rule, fourth rule, my bad. I wanted to talk about why you should have friends in the first place, because I remembered I forgot that. So why should you have friends? Well, the thing is, when you have friends, you become less insane, right? When you don't have friends, that's when you can reach your maximum insanity. And you might go like, oh, but like, I want to reach maximum insanity. Why should I have friends? And that's a respectable opinion. However, with maximum insanity, you stop being comfy. So that's not the point of this video. This is about comfy, and comfiness is if you min-max your insanity to suit your needs. You don't need to be like insane in a way you don't want to. And once you don't have friends, it becomes way harder to control how you want to be insane. So that's why you should have friends. Anyway, rule number 4 is you need to secure a source of income or support, right? This is, you need housing, probably, you need food, right? You need all of these things. Now, you can live out of your car, you can be homeless, all of that is respectable. But you will need food, right? You will need the internet, presumably at least. So how do you get all of these things now? The two common ways to do it is to either get support from the government or from your parents. Now, your parents rely on you having like a decent enough relationship with your parents that they are willing to support you. So this is the common way to do it. That's the way a lot of needs do it. And if you can do it, you're lucky, and that's gonna work out fine, because parents usually don't just abruptly cut off support. They sometimes do, but if you're on good terms, it's going to be a reliable way for you to have like at least a fallback. Now, the other thing you can do is you can get money from the government, right? This depends on your location, so I can't give like universal advice. But if you have clinically diagnosable autism, if you're jobless, even if you're just normal and jobless, right, you will probably have some way to get enough like income to sustain yourself, and to not have to like immediately worry about like fucking not being able to eat, not being able to live, right? There are ways in which you can be in it, in almost every Western country at least. Now, I don't know what the ways are for your specific country. You will have to find it out, like for yourself. You will have to, like, figure out how you can be in it, like, in precise terms. I'm just telling you, there are options to get money from the government, and you should use them. Okay, so now that that's established, I want to talk about the 3 other ways that are like talked about less, because they're less good ways to be in it. However, sometimes you have to rely on one of these ways. So I'm just gonna put them out there, just so you know that, like, hey, these are things you can do, and you can't always expect money from your parents and from your government, right? So you have to figure out ways that you can be in it, even if, like, you don't have other sources of income, right? So here are the 3 ways you can be in it, right? The first way is to be in a relationship with someone who can either support you or who have parents who are willing to support you both, right? Like, now, I know that this seems humiliating for you, like if you're like a female especially. Like if you're a female, this will seem humiliating to you, but like you can easily live with the parents of someone who you're in a relationship with, provided that they're cool, right? Not all parents are cool, obviously. You're not always going to be in a relationship with someone whose parents you like. However, if you're in a relationship with someone whose parents you like, you will be more likely than not be able to get some degree of support if that person can be in it, right? Because like you're not going to add that much to their cost of living, right? Because it's not like feeding a person is pretty cheap, right? And presumably, if you have a relationship, one of you is likely going to have another stream of income from somewhere, right? It's very likely like 2 people can't find a single like way to get money from the government or from one of those other methods I'm going to talk about later. So one thing you can always do is you can live with someone else's parents. This might seem weird, this might seem humiliating. It's not as bad as it sounds. I have never seen this blow up and like not work out at all. They're like, oh, what? I'm like a bird, and what if their parents don't like me? More often than not, parents are completely happy when you're just making their child happy, right? Like if they're good parents, again, with that qualifier. So if you can find it, just use that method. It's completely fair. You can do it. It's not gonna be the worst thing ever, and it's gonna be based and comfy, right? Now the two other ways. These are ones that require you to not be a pure NEET. These are ones that don't work for the NEET purists, but are sadly things that some people have to do. The first of these is having savings, right? At some point, you might have not been a NEET. You might have become a NEET right now and have a job before, right? However, if you have the NEET spirit, you have to realize that your job is going to be a conduit to you being a NEET eventually, right? You don't have a job to have a job. You don't have a job to advance in society. You don't have a job to do any of this shit. You have a job so you can eventually have enough savings to be a NEET for at least a while, right? Okay, so how do you have savings? Now, I'm going to talk about the main pitfalls about how people don't have savings, because having savings is complicated, and there's no surefire way to have it. It depends on your income, your lifestyle. It depends on a million other things, right? But the gist of it is when you have a job, you still want to be basically living the same way you would as a NEET, right? If you had, because being a NEET means that you have the bare minimum income usually. You can't really be a wealthy NEET, right? You can't become wealthy by getting money from your parents or the government, right? So when you have a job, you should live as if you're a NEET, which means you shouldn't move out really fast. Moving out is a thing that you should experience. You shouldn't spend your entire life with your parents. However, you shouldn't immediately move out if you don't have the support to do it. If moving out will make you reliant on your job for 3 years, let's say, don't fucking do it. It's a cool experience. Living on your own is cool. It's not worth not being able to be in it. If you have the desire to be a NEET, you're going to be happier being a NEET at home, as long as your home life is fine. Maybe your home life is absolute shit and you can't be at home. If your home life is fine, if you're happy enough at home, you will be happier being a NEET at home than working and not at home, right? Because it might be hey, at home, I have to interface with all of these people I don't like. When you're working, that amount of people just goes up. So that's why you're going to be happier at home, generally. Not always, but if your home life is fine. So yeah, that. So when you're having a job, you shouldn't be eating out. You shouldn't be going to a fast food place for your lunch break, right? You shouldn't be taking taxis everywhere, right? You should be able to have a secure source of transport and food that doesn't cost a lot. A thing that a lot of people fall for is get takeout, because you're okay, I don't want to spend the time cooking. Cooking is a pain. I'm gonna get takeout. That's a fine option to make. That's a fine choice to make. But that's going to be one of the most expensive choices you make. Because when you eat takeout, that's going to be double your food costs. Unless you live in a food desert and you have no other options. I understand that. I understand why you would choose takeout, over gas station food or whatever, because it's also going to be expensive. But if you have any possibility, if this seems like a possible solution for you, make your own food. It's going to save a shit ton of money, and you can use that money to be a NEET in the future, right? And there are other ways to save money, right? There are other ways to save money, but you just have to figure out what you don't have to spend money on and not spend that money. It's not really that complicated. Also, if there's a boat going by, I'm not gonna cut. I'm just gonna wait until the boat goes by, because the boat is cool. So look at the boat. Wow, there's a boat. But yeah, okay. Now there are going to be waves, which is going to shake my platform, which is also gonna be kinda cool. So yeah, anyway, so let's talk about the fifth way to be a NEET. Now this is the most offensive way to NEET purists, right? Because this isn't a pure way to be a NEET at all, but this is finding a way to work from home. Now, you can be an artist for this. You can just be an artist. Now, the free art meme is dead. There's no easy way to make free art anymore. You have to be actually good at art to make art for furries now. So, not actually good, but you have to put actual effort into it, So that's a thing that you will have to do if you want to make like free art money, or you can fucking find other ways to get an income from online, right? But like you can be an artist. That's the obvious solution. Now the less obvious solution is to find a job that allows you to work from home. That like usually this is going to be related to technology or something like that, or like data entry. But there are plenty of jobs that you can do from home, and sometimes they require connections and job experience and whatever. Like oftentimes you can only get them through your parents' recommendations, right? This is like often like a thing. So again, it relies heavily on luck. However, there are ways to get an income when you're at home, and you might want to pursue that, right? There's no template for this. You just have to like kind of be aware. You have to kind of like know your options. And I have never worked full time, so I can't really give you advice on this like specific subject. But yeah, that's the fourth rule of being a NEET, and I think it's the final one. I think those are the four main rules to being a NEET that I know. If I come up with another one, I'm gonna like put this also in the video. But like, I think these are the ways that like these are the things you need to know when you're NEET. Now, like looking back in this video, like the entire fucking closed cycle thing seems kind of like super mundane, but like it's just an observation I had. And then I just like had like ideas of like the experiences I have had with being a NEET and the things that I have had like to figure out over the course of being a NEET, like personally. So yeah, that's how you become a NEET. That's how you become a based comp NEET.